everyone! Hi, I am Tanjanika, the author. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if it's not your first time. And as you can tell by the title below, this is a tag that I actually stumbled upon very recently, but I think it's an older tag. I want to say it surfaced around 2017, but I thought it would be a fun tag to do. And it is all about my writing process. I have the questions here on my phone. It's actually a pretty lengthy questionnaire, I guess you can call it. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Because I feel like this is going to be a long video. Number 1, what genres do you write? Currently, I have written a contemporary romance. I'm working on a psychological thriller. I want to dip my toes into horror and dystopian fantasy. I've actually outlined a dystopian fantasy book. So I think I'm going to write a variety of genres, but those are the genres that I'm interested in writing in and that I have written in. Number 2, what setting gets you the most productive? I have 3. One of them is my desk. Something about sitting down at a desk with my computer just gets me in the mindset to work. Another setting is my car. It's something about being in public but not being in public that gets me, that sets my mindset up to work. Also, the cafe bookstore type setting is just the background noise of the hustle and bustle of the people. Kind of work as the television does at home. It just sets a very good background for me to focus on what it is that I'm doing. So those are my 3 settings: desk at home, car, and cafe / bookstore that I'm the most productive in. Number 3, if you have multiple story ideas, how do you go about picking which one you start first? Usually the idea I get first is the one that I write first, unless there's another idea where the story is flowing better or flowing more easily. Whichever one is flowing more easily is usually the one that I will write first. Number 4, do you outline? Yes. Yes. Number 5, do you start your draft with pen and paper, typewriter, or computer? I would prefer to start my first draft on a computer, but it has been my great or bad luck, however you look at it, that whenever I get those opening lines to my book, all I have is pen and paper. So I have started the 2 drafts that I have finished. They started on pen and paper, but I would prefer to just start them on a computer. Number 6, what do you do to get through writer's block? I change my scenery. So if I'm writing at home at my desk and I get writer's block, I'll go outside and get in my car, or I'll go to a cafe or a bookstore and I'll write there. Usually a change of scenery will give me a different perspective on whatever it is that I am writing, whatever scene that I'm writing. So that's usually how I overcome it. Number 7, do you format your project at the beginning do you format your project from the beginning, there we go, or worry about it later? I have been worrying about it later just because in the beginning, I'm really just trying to get words on the page. Like, I'm trying to get the story out of me. So I'm not really worried about format. I think in the future that will change though. Number 8, do you edit as you go or when you're finished with the first draft? I edit when I'm finished with the first draft, because if I edit as I go, the story's not going to develop the way I need it to, because I'm thinking with 2 separate parts of my brain, creativity and critical thinking. So I just write the first draft and then edit afterwards. Number 9, after finishing your draft / manuscript, How long do you give it a break before going back over it, or do you give it a break at all? I usually give my manuscript a month and a half at the least, because that way I am far enough removed from that world and the project that I can be objective enough to thoroughly edit. I feel like anything less than that, I'm too attached. I'm too attached to the characters. I'm too attached to the work of creating the story to give it a good edit. So a month and a half. Number 10, is there something that you prefer to do to get you through writing, i.e. playing music, TV, having your favorite drink, or food? Snacks are a must, 1. And 2, I need some sort of background noise. It can't be music because music will distract me too much. So normally it's just the TV. I'll put on a series of something that I've already seen on Netflix and I'll just let the series play. So for me, it's TV, food, and TV. Number 11, do you schedule your writing sessions? Yes and no. I have scheduled sessions at night during the weekdays and in the morning during the weekends. But if I have some free time in the middle of my days, then I'll squeeze in some writing too. So those middle of the day sessions are not scheduled, but I do have scheduled sessions for writing. Number 12, do you have a word count or chapter goals for your writing sessions? No. I just write until there's no more story in me to write for that session. So no, I don't have word count or chapter goals. Some days are just better than others. Number 13, are there any quirky things you do to make your projects more fun? No, I would say. I don't think I do anything quirky. So no. Number 14, do you work on multiple projects at one time? Yes, but not in the same, they're not in the same stage of me working on them. So I can't write 2 projects at the same time, but I have been writing a project and editing another project. So that I can do. But as far as doing the same function on 2 different projects, I don't think my brain can handle it. So yes, I do work on multiple projects, but I'm in different stages of that project. The projects. You know what I'm trying to say. Number 15, how often do you research what you're writing? All the time, throughout the whole writing process. If I've had instances where things will come up that I'm not aware of in the beginning. The story will take its own path and I'm not aware of where it's going beforehand, to research it beforehand. So then I'll research it while I'm writing it. Also, I like to be very authentic with places and procedures that might be in a book. At one point in time, I was writing a book about a young lady who was getting an open heart surgery. So I researched in detail the procedure of open heart surgery so that if someone reading my book had open heart surgery, they wouldn't look and be like, that's not how it goes. So I'm very particular about that. And then places, like what season is it? How does that season feel in that place? How does that place look during that season? Because someone, excuse me, if someone reading my book has been there or is from there, I want them to feel that familiarity with that place. So I research throughout. Number 16, how do you organize your projects? I organize my writing projects with a bullet journal. I organize my progression on a project with a journal and a spreadsheet so that I know where I'm at. I think that answers that question. Number 17, do you reward or punish yourself for achieving or missing out on your writing goals? I do reward myself for reaching my writing goals. I do not punish myself for reaching my writing goals. I mean, some days, or for not reaching my writing goals, some days are just better than others, so I don't punish myself. Number 18, are there any works similar to your projects that you look for and use for inspiration and or comparison? Inspiration, yes. Comparison, no. One thing that I have found as an author is you shouldn't get in the game of comparison because nobody can tell your story the way you tell your story. Inspiration, absolutely. There have been stories told that are similar to the story that I'm telling. And I can learn from those stories. So I'm all about learning. But nobody can tell my story the way that I tell my story. So I can't compare. You don't ever want to get stuck in a comparison game. So inspiration, yes. Comparison, no. Number 19. How early do you wait to start looking for or hiring editors? I'll usually start looking for an editor around my round 2 of my own edits. And then I'll hire an editor after my 5th round of edits. That's usually how it goes. It takes me 5 rounds to have like a really solid, super clean draft so that my editor is not like, this sentence doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's just me. And the last question, number 20. If you've finished the first draft of a manuscript, tell us how you felt afterwards. Pick your favorite. If you're not through with your first draft yet, tell us how you feel about it at the moment. So I have finished a couple of drafts, and the first draft that I finished, I just felt like I felt a great feeling of relief. Like, I can do this. I can actually do this. Because before that, I had been writing a book for over 10 years, it felt like. So when I finally finished a book, I felt relieved. I felt like, okay, Tan, you can actually do this. When I finished my second draft, I felt accomplished. Like that one, I felt like, okay, you're doing it.